Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, then thank you for coming back. So we're gonna jump straight into the video because I have a lot to show you. So I'm gonna start off with this gift bag here just by removing the handles off of the bag. And you want to be sure to do this very carefully so you don't tear or rip it. Then I will just be outlining with a marker where I'm going to cut. And basically I just cut along the sides just to make it fit in the frame. And I'm using this frame that I've had for a few years now. It was a gift from my wedding and I haven't used it yet. And I think it would look perfect with what I'm going to do, especially since it is white. So now I'm basically just cutting along the edges again, just trimming it down because as you can see I was not able to get it down right away. So I'm gonna just start with removing the backing off of the frame, and you want to take your time when doing this because I was eyeballing it a lot and it ended up getting a little crooked, so I needed my husband to come and rescue me on this because he is very artistic. So he came and cleaned it up a bit for me, and then I was able to do what I wanted with it. So I also remembered that I bought this really nice paper from Hobby Lobby. It was less than $1. So all I'm doing is tracing the glass frame so that this way I don't have any mistakes, and all I'm gonna do is trace the frame and then cut inside of that line. And then I'm left with a perfect square, so I'm going to be taking some Mod Podge and just applying that all over the back side of my gift bag so that I could stick that to the scrapbook paper. And again, when you're setting this down, you want to make sure that you have patience because it can get messy and it can get messed up super quickly. So I am just smoothing out any air bubbles, and I'm going to be adding some Mod Podge just along the edges just to make sure that there is no lifting in my paper and it's good to go. And then you're just going to set that back in your frame and put the backing back on it, and we are done. And voila, there it is. There is super cute. Okay, so this next DIY, you're gonna need two of these little window frames. I picked these up from the Target dollar section. They were actually $3 each, and then you could use any berries or anything really of your choice. I picked up these berries. They were about $3.99 at Hobby Lobby. This $1 garland from the Dollar Tree, and all I'm going to be doing is making a tiny wreath because these windows already have like fake snow on them. So all I'm doing is just decorating it a bit and just amping it up a bit. So there, I added my little berries, and now I'm going to be taking a few little pine cones. I picked up a bag from Hobby Lobby of pine cones. It was about $3.99, so really good deal. And I'm just using hot glue to apply all of this to my wreath. And then I'm going to be taking one of these little bows. I picked this pack up from the Dollar Tree. However, it does have a little tie in between. That's what's holding it together. I wanted to make sure that it doesn't move and doesn't budge, so I added some hot glue to that as well. And then I will just be placing that onto my wreath. I then wanted to add something to the center of my bow, so I took one of these little vase fillers. I picked this bag up from the Dollar Tree, so it was perfect. I also wanted to add snow to my wreath, so I picked this one up also from the Dollar Tree. So I added some of that, and I loved the way it turned out. So then I'm just using my hot glue to stick my wreath to my window, and that is it. You now have these two super cute but inexpensive simple DIYs. Okay, so for this next one, you're going to need a jar of your choice. I picked mine up from Hobby Lobby for about $3.99, and then I will be using this Waverly chalk paint in the shade Plaster. I picked up some paintbrushes because I did not have any, and then I'm just going to be giving the top of the lid and the side a few good coats. So I ended up stopping here at 2 coats. I thought that it was perfect and it covered just what I wanted. So then I did pick up this little 2-pack of Christmas trees from the Dollar Tree. I'm gonna take my husband's tool to cut off the tip of the tree because it did not fit, like it wouldn't close. And then using some hot glue, I'm just going to place my tree down, and you could literally get super creative. I picked up these little village people as well from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be placing Santa down, and I ended up choosing Frosty the Snowman. I also picked up a bag of Epsom salt. This is going to act as my fake snow. However, they also did have a bag of fake snow, which I did pick up as well. This one has a few little shimmeries in there, so that just added to it. And then I'm taking some Craft Bond spray adhesive, spraying my Christmas tree so that I can get some of that shimmer onto my tree as well. So then I closed the lid and everything fit perfectly. I sprayed the top of my jar, or I should say the bottom of my jar, with spray adhesive, and I added some of that fake snow just so it looks like my jar is glistening and it's snowy as well. And then I will be taking this really pretty glittery ribbon that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just hot gluing that along the side of the bottom. And that's it. That's all that it took to make this super cute globe. Alrighty, so Dollar Tree sells these mini Christmas trees. However, they are super sparse and they definitely need some love. So I'm going to start by taking it out of the box and just pulling the branches apart, and you can see here how sparse it is. So I picked up this wired garland. They're little mini wires that I am basically just gonna be twisting in between those sparse areas. This way it has a fuller appearance. Then I'm just trimming off some edges, and now you can see it looks way fuller, way better. And I'm gonna be spraying it with that fake snow. I liked the flocked Christmas tree look, so that's what I'm going for with this one. And I also picked up this 12-piece of ornaments from the Dollar Tree. It was perfect, you cannot go wrong with them. And I also picked up this red one as well. Now I'm gonna show you a trick. So I sprayed my tree with spray adhesive, and I'm gonna be taking a Swifter with baking soda and just putting that all over my tree. This way it doesn't collect any clumps, and it also doesn't fall super harshly in one area. And then I could just dust the remaining from the Swifter, and it's perfect. And I sprayed it again with spray adhesive, and I'm adding some of that shimmery snow. This way it looks more glistening. I gave it a good shake, and that's about it. So now you can just go ahead and start decorating it. I went ahead and used more so of the red ornaments, and then I will be taking this really thick pretty ribbon. It's white with like iridescent sparkles. I picked this up from Hobby Lobby. I believe it was $4.99, but I did get it for 40% off, so very inexpensive. And then I'm just going to use this as my topper, creating a bow that I will be using hot glue to glue, and then I will be cutting it and just making it super pretty. Then I wanted to add something to the center of my bow, so I went in with another pine cone. And I also picked up this little pot from Hobby Lobby. I think it was only 99 cents. And I'm going to take this gardening foam that I picked up from Dollar Tree, cutting it and molding it so that it does fit in the little pot. Then going back in with my Waverly chalk paint and plaster, I'm going to paint my pot. I ended up going over the pot 2 times, so that it could cover up all of the brown. I didn't even worry about doing the bottom because the bottom is obviously not going to show, but I'm going to be using this as my mini Christmas tree pot. And I'm also using a sponge to apply the paint to the pots, because if you do use a paintbrush, I was told that you could leave strokes. So when all of that is done, I'm just going to place my foam back in, creating a ridge in there so that I could stick my Christmas tree right in the center. I also bought this flower pick from Dollar Tree, so I'm going to use the wire cutters again to cut off a few of those flowers so that I could use those to also add into my tree. And that's it. This is my mini Christmas tree. I love the way it came out. I think it was so pretty, and it literally cost me $5 to make. So for this next DIY, you're going to need a small fishbowl. I got mine at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to take the sponge and that Waverly chalk paint, and I'm going to paint this all around 2 coats. And then you're going to need some black acrylic paint. I have the brand Amsterdam, but any brand will work. I'm going to start by drawing his eyes, and then we will move on to his mouth. So you could obviously get very creative with this. I decided to do a little polka dotted smiley face for him. I thought it was adorable. And then of course you're going to need your orange so that you can do his nose. Then I picked up this ornament from Dollar Tree. It's a little hat. I thought it was super cute, so I'm going to cut off the hook of it, and I'm going to use this as the snowman's hat, and I'm going to put that in place with some hot glue. And this is how he turned out. I think he is so adorable. So for this next DIY, you are going to need one of these ornaments from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to start off by gently prying off that metal piece from the top because I am going to still need that, so I want to hot glue that to the back. And then I picked up this cute little wood truck, and I am going to mix some black and red paint, and I'm going to paint that all over because I am going for a rustic vibe. And then I'm going to start painting my Christmas tree, and I'm just using acrylic paint for all of this. And then I'm going to paint my tires white. And after that first coat of the red and black has completely dried, I went back in and I added just bright red because I'm going to try to make this look very rustic and kind of as if it's different shades of red in the truck, if that makes any sense. And then I decided to use my sponge to pick up some white paint and make that look like it is snow, like the truck is driving and it is picking up some snow along the way, and give some snow to my tree and just add some more dimension to my truck. And then I went in with the marker, and now I'm going in with paint, and I'm going to be outlining my tires. So then I had some of that really pretty candy cane paper left over, so I'm going to use this as an outline for the bottom of my ornament, taking a marker and just drawing a line, and then under that is where I will be using some more Mod Podge so that I can stick my paper to that. And then I'm just going to simply place that down, and then I will be cutting along the edge of my circle ornament. Then when that is done, I'm going to be using some hot glue, and I'm taking a generous amount because I do not want this to move. And I'm going to stick my truck down right on top of that. And then I picked up these stickers from the Dollar Tree as well, and I'm spelling joy with them. They're glittery and I think they're perfect. And then I'm going to be using some of these pine cones and just embellishing my ornament a little bit. And then I'm taking some string so that I can use to hang it. And that is it. I love, love, love the way this one turned out. my husband really likes this one as well. Now for this DIY, this one's super easy. I had a old candle jar just lying around, so I'm mixing some Epsom salt, some fake snow and glitter, and I'm going to be Mod Podging my glass candle jar. It was empty and ready to be used. So then when I do that, I am literally going to just be placing my fake snow all around my jar, and I'm working in parts with this because if it dries, it's not going to look the best. So just be patient and have fun with it. And when I finished doing all that, I just used some spray adhesive to kind of hold everything in place, and that's it. I placed a $3 tree that I got from Target, and it was done. So now I'm going to be doing this joy sign. So I'm just taking this sign that I picked up from Five Below. It was exactly $5, but it was a really good size. So I'm going to be painting mine white. I actually went over this 2 or 3 times to get it to be the coverage that I wanted. And when that completely dried, since it is a chalk paint, I was able to use pencil to write my letters. And outlined it, and again I'm using a sponge so that I don't leave any brush strokes. So then I'm taking this 25-foot garland that I found at Five Below, and it was $3, and I'm gonna be making a small wreath for the inner, and I'm going to be using some hot glue to glue that. And then I'm going to make a little bigger wreath just so that I could double those up and make it look fuller. Then I'm going to be using these berries that I picked up from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to be using these little ornaments that I picked up from, I got this pack from Marshall's. It was like $5.99. And then I'm going to be using this bow from Dollar Tree and these pine cones. And I also wanted to use a little white bottle brush. I thought that was super cute, and I'm spraying it down with some snow, and I'm also going to be adding some paint to my pine cone, making it look like fake snow, and then I also put that paint all over my wreath so it looked like snow. And that's all for this sign. I love the way it came out. This probably is my favorite. So now I'm going to be showing you how you can fill in this other little Dollar Tree tree. So this tree is kind of iridescent, and I'm going to be taking this tinsel that I picked up from Five Below, and it's going to look a little messy, but it's actually really cute. It's different but cute. So I'm just hot gluing this little tinsel all around in between those sparse branches, and then that's pretty much it. I mean, you're literally gonna decorate it after that, and I actually really do like the way this one turned out. And there you go, a perfect little $3 tree with the star and the ornaments. Alrighty, so for this next DIY, you're going to need a styrofoam tree or cone and this rope that I picked up from Dollar Tree. So I picked up 3 of these bunches. All you're going to basically be doing is hot gluing this down to the cone and wrapping it around. It's so simple. And once you get up here, you're going to cut off the excess, and all you do is literally wrap it around and add some hot glue in the center of your cone, and you're just gonna tuck that in so it acts as like a small little tip for the top of the cone. I also bought this little ornament from Dollar Tree, but I'm going to be stealing this little embellishment and hot gluing that to a piece of twine and literally just tying that around my tree. And that's it. This is how it turned out, and it's super simple, but I really do like it. So for this next DIY, you're going to need any picture frame of your choice. I chose a plain white one from Dollar Tree, and I also bought this Dollar Tree card. So it just has a picture of a hot cocoa and some cookies, and I wanted to use this like in my little coffee hot chocolate area. So all I'm going to be doing is putting the card directly inside of it and literally just decorating my frame. So I'm using this red ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I'm gonna be just kind of seeing where I want it, and I winded up sticking to the sides. So I'm actually gonna have one on this side and then one on the other side. And I'm just gonna be using some Mod Podge and a paintbrush to pretty much just stick that onto that. And then I also had some leftover rope, and I thought that would be pretty neat to kind of just tie that in. And then I'm going to be using these little vase fillers to act as my marshmallows. I didn't have any other use for them, but I really like how it turned out. It was super cute and super easy to make, and I love it. Okay, so for this next DIY, you're going to need at least 2 or any amounts you want, but you're going to need some styrofoam discs, and you're going to use a pencil and just start outlining your peppermint linings, swirls, whatever you want to call them. And then you're going to just fill them in with some red acrylic paint. Again, I'm using the one from Amsterdam, but any ones will work. And again, you want to have a steady hand as possible and just have a lot of patience. So when that's done, I'm going to go in between and just make some smaller lines, and this is how both of them turned out. I then bought these sticks from Hobby Lobby for 69 cents each, and I'm going to be using my chalk paint, of course, with a sponge. And I did go over this about 3 times to get the white color that I wanted. And then this is the glue that I used to bond the stick and the styrofoam together. It's the Type Bond wood glue. And then I'm just going to be using some cellophane wrap to wrap up my lollipops and a little bit of tape. And then going back in with that red ribbon from Dollar Tree, I'm going to be tying that and then just cutting off the excess. And then I also picked up these bows from Dollar Tree, and this is how they came out. I love them. Alrighty, and then I picked up this small sign from Dollar Tree, and I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do with it. So I then thought, hey, maybe I'll just sand it down and make it my own and then use it as a door hanger. So that's what I did. So I'm using some 400 grit sandpaper, and I'm going to be painting it, of course. And I had to go over this a few times, only because the snowman was peeking through a bit. And then I'm going to be using this foam sheet. It has glitter on the other side, and I'm going to be using an X-Acto knife to carve out our last name initial, which is a P. So then once all that is done, I'm going to basically just glue that onto my door sign and embellish it a bit, and that's about it. I also picked up this little door knob hanger with these little jingle bells, but I didn't really like it, so I cut them off, and I'm going to use it on my door hanger, and this is how it turned out. Really small and simple, but it's super cute at the same time. Alrighty, so here's another last minute idea. So I bought these little 2-pack of canvases from Dollar Tree and these stencils that say Season's Greetings. And I'm just going to use my foam brush and paint that acrylic, and this is how it turned out. Like, literally, it was so simple and it's so freaking adorable. Alrighty guys, so this last DIY is very easy. So I'm pretty much just copying and mimicking the first snow globe that I did. And that does conclude this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. Please let me know if you guys want to see another one. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would truly appreciate it. I want to do a 200 subscriber giveaway, and I'm only 25 people away from that. So if you guys help me achieve that, then we will definitely be having a giveaway before Christmas. But with all of that being said, I love you guys, and I will talk to you guys all in my next one. I also have 15 more projects that I have in mind, so if you guys want to see that, let me know. And also let me know if you guys want to see us decorating our house. We haven't put up our decorations or Christmas tree yet, so let me know if you want to see that. Okay, bye.